McDonald's. The smell alone draws you in. Crispy fries, melting cheese, the soft, familiar bun. For many, it's more than simply food, it's nostalgia, childhood birthday parties, late-night desires, the satisfaction of knowing exactly what you're receiving no matter where you are in the world. But under the warm glow of the golden arches is a machine so powerful and expertly built that it's difficult to believe it all began with a single little burger shop in California. McDonald's offers more than just fast meals. It's a global empire that feeds 70 million people each day, or nearly 1% of the world's population. But what exactly are you supporting when you grab that Big Mac? What corners were cut to serve you that $1 burger? What type of empire is hiding behind the joyful clown and the dollar menu? From lawsuits and labor exploitation to surprising culinary findings and environmental devastation, there are several things you should know before visiting McDonald's again. Grab your fries and pull down the sesame seed bun, because this isn't just lunch. It's business. Ruthless, international, and larger than most governments. The McDonald's origin begins not with Ronald, but with two brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald, who founded a drive-in BBQ restaurant in San Bernardino, California in 1940. However, it wasn't until 1948 that they completely revolutionized everything. They discarded the menu, but preserved the burgers, fries, and milkshakes, and created something revolutionary: the Speddy service system. Consider food production as an assembly line. It was efficient, quick, and changed the game. Enter Ray Kroc. A milkshake machine salesman stepped into their store in 1954 and saw more than just burgers. He saw an empire. Kroc persuaded the brothers to let him franchise their concept. However, it quickly became a takeover rather than a partnership. Kroc bought them out in 1961 for $2.7 million. The McDonald brothers vanished into history. In contrast, Kroc became the visionary founder of what would become the world's largest fast food business. But Kroc didn't only sell hamburgers. He sold consistency. A Big Mac in Chicago needed to taste the same as one in Tokyo. That necessitated control over supply chains, franchisees, branding, real estate, and even architecture. As a result, McDonald's expanded beyond its restaurant roots. It became a symbol of America, about globalization, for speed, convenience, and profit. Behind every Happy Meal lies a brutal commercial plan that operates like a military machine. McDonald's success is predicated not only on hamburgers, but also on real estate. Yes, the McDonald's Corporation is considered one of the world's largest real estate empires. This is how it works. McDonald's purchases property, builds the store, then rents it to the franchisee. The rent is high and typically related to sales. So even if a location is struggling, the franchisee owes the corporation money. It's an excellent low-risk approach for McDonald's. But what about the small company owners who are trying to run these stores? It can be cruel. Then there's the workforce. McDonald's employs almost 2 million people worldwide, but it has faced constant criticism for low salaries, union busting, and bad working conditions. Workers in the United States walked out in 2015, seeking a $15 minimum wage, which sparked the global Fight for $15 movement. In France and the United Kingdom, employees have alleged underpayment, unpaid overtime, and even reprisal for organizing. In the United States, McDonald's corporate frequently avoids responsibility by saying franchisees are independent. However, when policies are controlled from the top down, the argument begins to disintegrate. Smiles may be free, but behind them lurks a system that squeezes every ounce of wealth from its citizens. Let's discuss what's on your tray. Was that a Big Mac? It may appear innocuous, but the truth is significantly more complex than you may expect. Take the meat. McDonald's has made news for utilizing mechanically separated meat, and while they have moved away from the infamous pink slime, many opponents believe that what's left isn't particularly healthy. What about their chicken nuggets? Previously discovered to include anti-foaming chemicals often used in yoga mats. And it does not end there. Hidden sugars are present throughout the menu, not just in desserts, but also in burger buns, salad dressings, and fries. What about the healthy fruit yogurt parfait, loaded with more sugar than a donut? When you add sodium at extremely high levels to preserve flavor and shelf life, you have a deadly combination. A single Big Mac meal with fries and a drink can have over 1,200 calories, which is roughly half of what the average adult should take each day. Then there are the additives, which include preservatives, fake flavors, and texture enhancers that are designed to manipulate taste rather than nourish it. These are lab engineered to reach the bliss point, the ideal balance of salt, sugar, and fat that will keep you going back. So when you bite into that cheeseburger, you're not simply eating lunch. You're ingesting a product designed by food experts to suppress your natural hunger signals and keep you addicted. McDonald's has had its fair share of scandals, and they span the globe. In 2014, a Chinese television investigation revealed that one of McDonald's meat suppliers was repackaging outdated beef and poultry, causing shockwaves throughout Asia. Customers were unknowingly served spoiled meat. What about the fallout? Store closures, widespread public outrage, and an immediate corporate apologies. However, for many, the harm was already done. Environmentalists in Brazil have accused McDonald's beef suppliers of contributing to unlawful deforestation in the Amazon. Cattle ranching is one of the primary causes of rainforest degradation, and McDonald's global beef demand has long been a component of that supply chain. Then there's the famed McLibel case, the longest-running trial in British history. Two environmental activists presented a brochure criticizing McDonald's for concerns such as worker exploitation, deforestation, and advertising that targets children. Instead of letting it go, McDonald's sued and lost in the court of public opinion. The lawsuit stretched on for years, but the European Court of Human Rights eventually sided with the activists, alleging unequal treatment. Speaking of youngsters, McDonald's has been constantly chastised for marketing directly to them. What about Happy Meals, Ronald McDonald, and cartoon-themed toys? It's all part of a billion-dollar campaign to create lifetime clients, beginning with toddlerhood. Critics label it predatory. Some countries, such as Chile, have even prohibited toys from fast food meals. From food safety concerns to environmental harm and relentless public relations warfare, the McDonald's empire has demonstrated that when operating on this scale, even a single blunder may result in an international incident. Let's talk about ethics, because when your company sells 75 hamburgers each second, how those burgers are sourced is important. McDonald's relies on a global supply network of industrial agriculture, which includes enormous factory farms with questionable practices. Investigations have shown terrible images of animals jammed into tiny cages, living in filth, and being pumped full of medications to avoid disease in overcrowded conditions. In 2015, animal rights organizations disclosed the condition of hens reared for McNuggets, which were genetically engineered to develop so quickly that their legs frequently collapsed beneath their weight. These birds are kept in artificial light 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to stimulate consistent feeding and faster slaughter. McDonald's has made several public commitments, including cage-free eggs by 2025, antibiotic reduction goals, and supplier welfare audits. However, detractors contend that these measures are reactive, ambiguous, and inconsistently implemented across countries. There's also the environmental impact. Beef farming is a major source of methane emissions, water usage, and deforestation. Packaging trash, which includes billions of wrappers, cups, and containers, adds to the ecological footprint. However, most people do not consider ethics when ordering a cheeseburger. That is exactly as the system was intended: efficient, invisible, and free of consequence. But the true cost of that Big Mac could be paid by animals, workers, and the environment, not just your checkbook. In recent years, McDonald's has attempted to reposition itself as a more responsible, health-conscious, and environmentally friendly firm. But the issue remains: is this a genuine change, or simply a slick layer of PR paint? Take the menu. McDonald's now offers salads, wraps, fruit sides, and plant-based alternatives, such as the McPlant. They now display calorie counts on menus in several countries, have replaced foam containers with cardboard, and have promoted efforts such as sustainable sourcing in paper straws. On the surface, the situation appears to be improving. However, if you delve further, you'll discover that most of it is marketing spin. What about their salads? Often contains more calories and sodium than a cheeseburger. What about the McPlant? Only served in few locales and cooked on communal barbecues with meat. Paper straws? Great title. However, the drinks are still served in plastic cups with lids. Environmental groups have accused McDonald's of greenwashing, which involves using buzzwords like sustainable, without strict accountability or third-party scrutiny. Meanwhile, fundamental issues like labor rights, supply chain ethics, and the over-reliance on industrial farming go largely unaddressed. What we're seeing isn't transformation, but reputation management. A worldwide fast food conglomerate attempting to appeal to a new generation of conscious consumers while maintaining its bottom line. So the next time you see fresh, simple, honest billboard, ask yourself if they're actually changing or merely altering the message. McDonald's is not merely a fast food restaurant. It's a cultural behemoth designed for convenience, built for dominance, and wrapped in a smile. Many people find it economical, accessible, and comfortable. However, comfort can come at a cost. Behind every meal is a global system that prioritizes speed, growth, and profit, often at the expense of transparency, ethics, and health. What about the food, designed to be delicious rather than nutritious? What about the labor model, streamlined to save money, often leaving personnel overworked and underpaid? How about the marketing, masterfully constructed to entice young consumers and keep them loyal for life? None of this implies that you should never eat at McDonald's again. Millions do it every day. But if you decide to eat there, do so with your eyes open. Understand that a $1 burger isn't really a miracle of efficiency. It's the result of a sophisticated, contentious system that spans countries and industries. It affects agriculture, economy, politics, labor, and the environment. Being a conscious consumer does not require you to boycott McDonald's. Just remember what you're supporting when you step through that door. Because in the end, every dollar spent represents a vote. And when a corporation delivers 70 million meals per day, those votes mean more than you realize. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your eyes, please like and subscribe for more no-fluff critiques of the companies that shape our lives. And do share your McDonald's experience in the comments.